they say all men are created equal. Shot! Master! I'll pull out the Glock! Full of suffering, succotash, son!
It's one of your nuts hanging out of your shorts.
Real glass!
You have a father, but your father's dead.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Too Sweet podcast. We're back with an all-in review. I'm personally so excited to get into this. I mean, what an incredible show. I mean,
you've
wow.
sat on it as well.
Yeah,
you know what I
have.
feel like now, because it's a different experience when you've sat on it. Like you just dying to talk about it.
Yeah. So
Stewing on it.
Yeah, what happened was I said it on my Dynamite review this week that I was going to a knockout wrestling show, so that meant I couldn't watch it live because it started at 8 p.m, which is unusually early. Like as everyone knows, it was like an afternoon show. So I got home from the wrestling and put it on. So I was about an hour and a half behind real time, and it was much longer than I expected. I thought I was going to get to bed at a reasonable hour, but it was about 3 a.m. by the time I went to bed. But I'd committed, and I was into it, and I really wanted to know what was going to happen in the conclusion of the main event. So I stayed up to watch it, which is unusual because normally I'm the sleepy gal and I go to sleep at a reasonable hour and wake up and watch it the next day. Whereas Estelle, you're a night owl. You don't sleep, but Estelle was out partying, so she's the one who's watched it today, and you've only just finished it. So how are you feeling having just finished watching it?
Well, put it this way, I had to wipe the tears out of my eyes.
Literally, yeah.
One word to describe the pay-per-view, not just the main event, just fucking emotional. So many men crying. And then that was making me cry. I was seeing people crying, that was making me cry. It was just so, but also amazing. But I don't know if it's just because I've just come off it, and I feel like when you just come off it, you're sitting with all that positivity. So I don't know, in my mind right now, it's a 10 out of 10. Sorry, spoiler, but it's a 10 out of 10, but we'll see when we break it down. I just cannot wait to get into it.
I know, it's so exciting. It was a lot, and I just want to add to what you said about the emotions and a lot of men crying. I do think that's an important thing to bring up. I just love wrestling's always going to be toxically masculine, isn't it? But I feel like AEW tries to push back against that in some ways, because you do have men openly crying, and I can think of 3 off the top of my head just on All In, and I think that's beautiful, and just it's sad. There was a lot of sad moments, but there was a lot of happy tears too, and it's it's okay.
Yeah.
Men, it's all right to cry. It's all right to have emotions. It's all right to be sad. It's all right to be happy. It's just, I love that. I love that little detail of just have these emotions, these big emotions, and we're having them on screen. We're all sharing them together.
Yeah. Yeah, so shall we begin?
Yeah, let's begin because we've got quite a lot to go through. So let's not waste time.
I didn't watch the pre-show, obviously assuming you didn't either, so we're gonna be unpacking the main card.
So because I had some free time today, I went back and revisited some of the stuff that I didn't watch the pre-show live, I didn't make an effort to go all the way back and watch that from the start, but I did watch the Big Boom AJ match today because that's what I was interested in seeing on the pre-show, and that was really fun.
Rundown.
Well, what happened was it Trent got in the face of the little guy, not the Rizzler, the other one. I can't remember all the names.
Big Justice?
Yeah, Big Justice. And he pushed him to the floor. So Big Boom AJ was angry, and then when it came down to the ending, Big Boom AJ was about to finish it, and then Big Justice got in the ring and did an awesome spear on him, and then AJ did the powerbomb for the win. So it was ridiculous and hilarious, and I loved it. And the Rizzler was there too. And when they were making their entrance, Kyle O'Reilly was doing the Rizzler face, and he was emoting all the way down the ramp. So it was just brilliant. 10 out of 10.
Well, Kyle O'Reilly loves an emote, doesn't he? His little air guitar.
Yeah.
But I was pissing myself because I hadn't seen that match, but they put out a TikTok, and it was what the fuck is it? Why is it so hard to remember the names?
Because they're all
the dad.
the same.
What's the farm
Boom
called?
AJ. Oh, it's AJ
Big
something.
Boom AJ. Yeah, Big Boom AJ, right. Big AJ. And he was like, "We're coming for your Callis family. We're gonna end the Callis family." It just something about it, like it just absolutely tickled me. I was like, "Yeah,
it's the
fuck the
concept.
Callis family."
Yeah, it's the concept of the Costco guys being the ones to end the Callis family. Like the reign of terror of the Callis family is being ended by the Rizzler.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So this was our first time watching All In. And not being there, and obviously in a totally different country, didn't know how it was going to be, didn't know what the
Yeah.
setup was going to look like, but I thought the venue looked fucking incredible. Like, wow,
It did.
amazing.
It did. It looked, I mean, for lack of something better to compare it to, but it looked like Wembley. Like that, it's just that same setup of like a stadium. It's very big. Also, it started in the daytime, which I think gives it a different vibe. It looked packed and it looked huge, and it just immediately had this big event feel. And I have to say, I'm just seething with jealousy of everyone who was there. So if anyone's watching this who or listening to this who was there, please do let us know. Let us know what it was like to actually be there because I just wow, it just looked amazing.
I feel like in some ways it was looked kind of better though, because I think it's like a bit smaller than Wembley, and like the concourse was a bit tighter, so like the
Yeah.
crowd on the floor like felt a bit more together, whereas at Wembley they can be a bit more spread out. But yeah, I was worried that maybe it would lose its vibe, lose its identity, but they did a great job, and production especially. I think they were saying that in that particular stadium it's the most that they've ever hung up at the top. They
Oh
had
my God,
the
yeah.
massive screens, the pyro. It was freaking incredible. Um, and also I thought the camera work was pretty good as well. There's some really good
Yeah.
camera work. They were really, I don't know how to describe, but like in the corner, they were like really getting in. I don't know, like the camera work, it was top tier.
Yeah, it was very
But the
dynamic.
opening match was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it? It was the trios, and
Mm.
like you're going into this and you're really excited, and I'm not shitting on it, right? But normally he pulls a blinder and he puts like a big match on first, like maybe Swerve Ospreay versus the Bucks, for instance. That's kind of what I was expecting. And then we got the trios, and it was kind of nice. It was a different style of card because it was very much easing you in, and then you had the triple bill main event. So a lot different because normally those would be spread out. But it was cool. It was a bit more linear, and the whole time you're just tense. I mean, I was tense because I just could not. The only thing I could think about was the main event. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry, the free main event. But all I could think about was Hangman. I was just
I
in a state of
know.
anxiety
I
the
know.
whole time I was watching it.
Yeah, me too. I was always in the back of my mind, and I was getting sleepy towards the end, but I was like, I have to stay up for Hangman. Like you said, it was just always in the back of my mind. Um, but this kind of reminded me of when All In last year when the tag team ladder match kicked off the show, and I really wasn't expecting that, and like we were in the middle of eating our food when suddenly it just began, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, Claudio's there. Um, this was the same exact thing. I was like, oh shit, Claudio is right there. Um, so yeah, I think
Yeah.
yeah, I quite like. I thought the structure worked though. Like you said, I think it worked in a linear sort of way. Like a good amount of excitement mixed with some of the, I mean, guess lesser exciting ones sprinkled in a little bit just to keep it going.
But because they had that structure also, like you always get the bathroom break, the buffer match, and they didn't have that. So it
Yeah,
must have been crazy watching it live because I feel like towards the end you probably couldn't catch your breath. You're like, oh my
yeah.
God, now this is happening, this is happening. But yeah, I did feel like this match, it could have been an email. I'm not gonna lie. This trios match, it was just everyone was great in ring, right? Everyone put their all into it, but I just do not have any level of investment in the trios title, so
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
I mean, I love obviously Claudio and Yuta, and to a certain extent, I really like Small Joe too, and everyone in the Ops, to be honest. But like big Claudio fan, obviously. Um, but I mean, I didn't know this match was going ahead. When was this even announced? Because I speculated that it might happen on my Dynamite review, but I wasn't sure. And then it just seemed to happen. And like you said, I wasn't. I'm just not invested. I didn't. It makes no sense really that that the Death Riders would pick up those belts again. So I kind of felt like the conclusion was predictable. And although, six fantastic wrestlers, it was an entertaining match, but it just lacked that, I don't really know, like that bit of excitement, that bit of investment.
Yeah, especially for the titles, and we've gone verbatim for the trios
Yeah.
titles and why they don't matter and all that. But also, this is, I know you didn't know at the start, a bit presumptuous, but we kind of knew Hangman was winning, or we hoped. So this was the send off for the Death Riders, and
Yeah.
yeah, it just felt a bit disjointed and a bit weird. Because, like I say, this whole time I've been hoping we're going to get character work. I mean, even if it wouldn't have had a great amount of payoff because they've not really built to it. But even if Yuta had a change of heart or some more tensions with Yuta and Claudia, but it makes me wonder whether just because Mox is defeated, are the other Death Riders just going to descend into the sunset, or are
Mm,
they going to be like a trios team now? What
yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll find out at Dynamite what's going to happen with them, but yeah, because this just didn't feel very final. And yeah, as for the setup, I don't know. Maybe it happened on Collision, which is on Thursday. I didn't get the chance to watch it. And I also really, really want to watch, and I am going to watch it, the Ring of Honor Supercard. I didn't get to watch it,
Yeah.
but I've heard
Yeah.
amazing things about Bandido and Takeshita, like people like match of the year. So I'm like, I need to get on that shit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. That's on my list. Yeah. The thing was, for me, Yuta didn't have like any good showings in this really. Like I feel like he is so getting lost in all of this. He had like one good moment. He did like a bridge German, which was really cool. And but then he ate the pin. And then it was Claudio who then went on to break Samoa Joe's neck in the chair afterwards, which I'm just like, what? I feel like that's leading to Claudio and Yuta and Kid doing something after Moxley because I feel like
Yeah,
Claudio
that's
was
how I
really,
was feeling.
yeah, Claudio was really built up to be some sort of dangerous monster in this. He was breaking people, trying to break people's necks like left, right, and center. So, but where do you go when they don't? When Moxley obviously, to skip forward a little bit, isn't like the undefeated leader anymore. So where does that leave everyone? I mean, I guess that's a fun thing to see where they take it on Dynamite, but it was just a bit confusing. I'm just a bit lost, especially considering Utah. I feel like Claudio's quite clean cut, but there must be something for Utah, something more.
And it's like they could clear it up, but also, if I was going to be nitpicky at the main event, the icing on the cake would have been perhaps the rest of the Death Riders when they realise Mox is about to lose, turning their backs on him
Mm,
rather than fighting until the end. Because that would be really poetic. It's like, oh, you've really lost. You've got nothing now.
mm.
And I'm not saying in a face way, just in a way of like, okay, we're leaving you, because you've just created so much work for yourself. Like, it's like pulling the plug of the momentum for these other guys. I don't know, and it is a shame, but yeah, hopefully it could be salvaged. But the match itself was pretty good. There was lots of breathing room, uh, as I
Yeah,
say, great camera work, and it was a bit different because there was no frenzied multi-man kind of wrestling. It was very one-on-one,
yeah, that's true.
breathing room for the spots and just having fun, very loosey-goosey. It was cool. It was, trios. You think a barrage of offense and craziness, and that wasn't what you got, but it was still a lot of fun. It was definitely more of a pay-per-view match than a TV match. I will say that.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching it thinking this is TV match because of the way they were wrestling. They were really
Mm.
elevating every spot.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. It was quite slow paced, especially to start with, and then everything had meaning. Everything was impactful, like you said. So it didn't have that frenzied offense. It was more like meaningful, especially with the people in it. So like, like Hobbs and Joe are both really big guys, so they're using more like the striking and the strength than super fast pace. I feel like the two teams, their styles matched really well.
I really like that uppercut that Claudio did on Hobbs. I mean, he went flying in the air. I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. We had the muscle buster after the failed assisted splash with Claudio and Yuta, which led to Yuta taking a flurry of offense. And then we had the Death Riders post match beat down, the curb stomp with the chair on Joe, and Joe stretched out because they were playing into, oh, well, in the main event they could run in. So, yeah, it makes sense. Why wouldn't they pick apart them and try to gain any advantage they can for Mox? Yeah, it just makes sense on it.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting. I just don't know. Claudio's just being built as this really ruthless, very cold, um, almost like thoughtless kind of fighter. Like he's doing everything for Moxley. It's almost like he doesn't have his own thought process. Whereas Utah's like different to that. I'm not even talking about Gabe Kidd because I've said my opinions about
No,
this fella.
can we just talk about Gabe Kidd at the start? Why the fuck was he on all fours
I
like a
don't
spider
know.
monkey,
Well,
like a kid running up the stairs? What was that all about? Is that
I
something he does? I've never seen that before. I've seen him wrestle, but not. No, what the hell was that?
I have no idea. I thought the exact same
Was he just
thing.
too excited? Was he just like fucking hell, and then just started stimming out? I don't know, but it was weird. It's weird.
I feel like he doesn't really fit in because Claudio's so stoic and like Yuta sort of well Yuta is too. I feel like he emulates Claudio and everything he does. So those two are just so calm walking to the ring, and then you've got Gabe Kidd looking like he's just snorted 12 lines. Um, like everyone in the crowd is like, what the fucking hell? He was very intense. He was very intense all the way through. Gabe Kidd, a lot of energy.
But to your point though, with Claudio, perhaps he's the new leader, and he's
Mm,
kind of like, oh well, Mox. Yeah, I don't believe in Mox anymore, but I still believe in the message, and yeah, they carry on in the trios division or
I just
something,
feel
and he
like
continues to lead Yuta.
yeah, I feel like Claudio could potentially be the Delulu kind of stooge who's like, I still love you, Moxley. I don't know. I have a
Yeah,
fear that it's gonna not be as exciting as we think, and it might just be bland. Like they're just gonna continue.
I mean, a lot of the Death Riders hasn't been as like as seasoned as it could have been. I mean, we never got the one-on-one with Willow and Marina. And again, I'm not down on the show. I still think it's like a 10 out of 10, but you got to address like the elephant in the room. And
Hmm.
I'd love to know. I want answers. I need like Mox, go on vacation and write a tell-all book. Okay, write another tell-all book because you've had a few years since your last one, and tell us what's happened. Because why? I was thinking about today. I was thinking about Rhea Ripley and her in the Judgment Day. And obviously she was over before, but when she was in the Judgment Day, I feel like that's when she kind of had like a super boost in
Hmm.
popularity.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, why would you not put it, can she not wrestle? Is she not up to
Yeah,
scratch?
maybe there's
Like,
something injury or
something's got to
something.
be happening, hasn't it? Because it's just bizarre.
Yeah, I know. I just said injury, but then she took a pretty nasty spot on this show, so it can't surely be a fucking injury. Um, there must be some reason. It's got to be.
Anything else to say on this match before we move on?
I feel like yeah, but I feel like we should move on.
Okay. Um. So next up, we had the men's casino battle royale. So this definitely brought the excitement up a bit. Yeah. And have you seen the 2-in-1 film that came out this week?
No.
For the Briscoe brothers. I haven't seen it,
Oh
but
no, I haven't got around to watching it yet. It's on YouTube, isn't it? Um,
yeah.
Fortunately not.
Somebody
Have
seen
you?
it? No. But I didn't know it was. I didn't know it was out. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out as well. I've got a lot of things that I need to check out. But yeah, we had Matt Briscoe at the number one spot, MJF at the number two spot. They played the video package before and really amped up this rivalry.
Yeah.
I know that you had thoughts on that in your review. You thought it was a bit. I don't know what the word is. A bit.
Bit
You
zero
said
to
like
100.
0 to 100. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a bit 0 to 100 real quick. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think it's maybe a little bit jarring. Maybe we could have started it a bit earlier and just had it a little bit more gradual, but it's not terrible.
That is such a Max thing to do, though, innit? Like, just take it to that place for no reason, just to be
Very
a
much
dick. But
so. Very much so.
yeah, and also MJF coming out with MVP. What presentation! I thought his entrance looked amazing.
Yeah.
I love the Hurt Syndicate, and I love MJF being a part of it. Even on the graphic, it had like the Hurt Syndicate later on in their match, and like all their names at the bottom. And
Yeah.
oh, I just never want it to end. I love it.
It is good. He fits in. It's working very well. The aura of MVP and MJF, especially here, like they just match each other.
They match each other's energy for sure. So Briscoe was on MJF immediately, and then we had the number 3 entrant being Ricochet, both of them beating on Matt Briscoe. Number 4 was our favourite luchador Bandito.
He got a huge
And
pop.
Ricochet didn't have to go over that rope, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
oh my
Bandito
God.
just launched him over. And stuff like that always makes me nervous. That's the thing that I hate to see the most. Not the deathmatch wrestling, just any spot where people are just blindly falling to the outside. Because I always look at the ankles and I'm just like, that for me. Worse than head spots, worse than neck spots, pile drivers. I don't care. That is my number one thing. People taking blind falls like
Yeah,
that.
I
Hate
mean,
it.
yeah, yeah. It did look very dangerous. There's a lot of things in this where I just don't understand how people are safe and healthy afterwards. It really boggles my mind.
Yeah. So we had Takeshita. He got into it with Bandito, obviously, their match at the Ring of Honor Supercard. Matt Briscoe. Yeah, Matt Briscoe is kind of like the main character in this. He was wrestling
Yeah.
with attrition, and MJF was the opportunistic sniper for the side, which played into the ending. We
Yeah, I
have
thought that.
Mystico.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just thought that the story was really good, just to your point that like MJF was just trying to end it, while Mike Briscoe wanted to punish MJF.
Yeah, and Matt Briscoe was fighting like the honourable fight. He wasn't trying to avoid conflict. He wasn't trying to roll out or avoid. He was in it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, Mystico pretty apt given MJF was about to demask Bandito. There was a lot of pageantry for this. I feel like that's what the runtime was for All In. Why it was so long. I bet an hour of it was entrances and
Very true.
pageantry. I mean, I loved it. I loved it. It's like Christmas. I loved it. But yeah, that was intense.
It was, yeah. I think
Main
MJF's
character
reaction
moment.
to Mystico's music hitting was great. And then yeah, it's in Spanish, isn't it? His song. I feel like people in the crowd knew it, but I don't know if it was just like my audio from my TV, but it didn't sound like many people were singing along.
Yeah, it was just a bit of an awkward moment. He was loving it. He was like, "You sing and you sing," and people didn't know what he wanted from. So some people had like the phones out. Some people were trying to sing. It was very awkward. It was like he had like a gun and he was like, "Sing my fucking song." Um, but yeah, then we had Josh Alexander, him and Takeshita working together. Anthony Bowens, um, Roderick Strong, Brody King. He had a fun little cannonball spot. And then who comes out but Juice Robinson, aka Undertaker Light? My
Oh my
God,
fucking God. I'm so glad you said that because what I wrote down was he looks like Bo Dallas cosplaying as The Undertaker.
that's an even more accurate description
Because
for sure. But
his
yeah,
face is very Bo Dallas-like. It's because he shaved
he's
his
got a baby
beard. It
face.
looks so weird without his beard that round. But yeah, just, it was just like, whoa, who is this person?
But it was really cool to see him back.
He
It's
got
kind of one of those
a
people that
surprisingly loud
kind of forgot
reaction.
about. Yeah,
Mm,
kind of just like forgot. I'm so Jay White focused, and then I felt edged during this because the guns came out later, and I was like, "Come on,
yeah.
Jay White,
I was
baby,
like, oh,
let's
Stella's gonna
go!"
be so happy. He's definitely coming.
And I was edged last year at the Casino Gauntlet Royale. I was convinced he was coming out. I was
Yeah,
convinced. And he
you were.
didn't, and he didn't this year either. He continued the tradition.
He's just like, ha, those fools think I'm coming out for a casino match. Hell no.
Also, we had the Gates of Agony come out, and they're now working with Ricochet. What do you think of that? Because we haven't had a chance to talk about that.
I have no feelings really. For people
At
who are
least you just eye
listening,
rolled.
yeah, I
You
was
did
just
an
gonna say, for
amazing
the
eye
benefit
roll.
of those not watching, I just rolled my eyes. I do not really care.
Yeah, it's like the
As
worst case scenario in it. It really is just the Gates of Agony just have. I get it, and I thought that's a good idea, right? put Ricochet with somebody who needs that boost, who just needs that little bit of spice. But them, I just don't fit. I think it's unsalvageable. I just don't. They got nothing about them.
Zero aura points. It's like,
Zero negative aura points.
yeah. So you mix that with Ricochet's aura points and you add them together and you end up on zero because we've got
Yeah.
minus, negative, and a positive, and you just end up at zero. So yeah, it's not landing for me at the moment.
I also at that point I wrote foaming for Jay White. I was foaming for him. Then we had Ibushi and Mortos, Takeshita with the double German, Max Caster, with Bowens, her on the ramp, and Max Caster obnoxiously chanting, "Let's go, Max!" And I put, "This is a visual representation of the Acclaimed ending. This is what people wanted. This is the reality of the Acclaimed ending."
That's what you asked for.
Talk about aura points. And then we had the finish of the match with the J Driller to Roddy, but Max just he shoves him off and he steals the win, the bastard. Yeah, I know you predicted MJF to win, so your
Yeah.
prediction was right.
I was like, fuck yeah, feeling very smug at this point. But that was so Max, wasn't it? That was just so perfect for the story. Mark, I know obviously he's been using the Joe Driller for a long time. It's not a new thing, but it's kind of like, that tribute to his brother. So that makes it even more insulting that MJF then came in to steal the win from Mark. So yeah, I liked that. I thought it was good, and I think there's a lot of potential for where it could go now with Max as the number one contender, and I think that's the best. I think it was the best option, to be honest.
And seeing the ending with the J Driller, do you kind of think that you can forgive the 0 to 100 stuff? Because it makes sense once you see that ending, because you wouldn't have been able to have that impact of using the J Driller if you
So
didn't have
true.
all the bullshit before.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it needed to be made personal, and it was inevitably going to be made personal because that's the nature of everything that MJF does. But I think I feel like it could have just you maybe could have started it like a couple weeks earlier, just so it was a bit more
Yeah.
uh of a smooth transition. But I'm not trying to complain about that. It's just quite jarring, wasn't it? But I think like this payoff was good, and obviously like well, you'd assume that Mark would want some sort of revenge from that, so then their story isn't over.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've got like the humour of a 5-year-old because I thought that talky talk segment was hilarious. I want to talk. Like that's just been in my head and I just thought
That
it was
impression is spot
fantastic.
on.
Oh, absolutely stunning. Um, but yeah, so with Hanger picking up the victory, and then you think, Tony Khan, you are such a genius because how long has he been doing the Hangman and MJF stuff and the backstage
Yes.
interactions? He
Yeah.
must have known this was happening for ages, and to plant that seed before is fucking brilliant. Love it.
Long term. Called long term booking, baby.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I can't wait to see them get into that program. And I also wonder, not jumping ahead or anything, but on the topic, I really wonder who Hangman's opponent's going to be for All Out because it's literally like a week away. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be MJF instantly, or jumping into that instantly? Is it going to be some kind of? Is it going to be Darby because he came out and helped? Is it going to be Swerve because he doesn't have the clause of he can openly challenge? Is it going to be Ospreay? Like, how the hell are they going to decide who the number one contender is?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, but not in a bad way. Usually when you use that metaphor, it means it's a bad thing, isn't it? So maybe not the right choice of words there. But you know what I mean. There's a lot of contenders, and I think that makes it more exciting.
Yeah, yeah, for
But
sure.
just to add on the end of this, I thought this match was so fun, and I love this as a concept, and I love the concept that in the intervals, they're not even. It could be at any point where a new competitor comes in. There's people waiting in the back and they don't know if they're going to get the opportunity to come in or not. I just love this whole match as a concept. It's like the Royal Rumble, except better.
Yeah, it is because it's got more room for flexibility. Like I say, it's not timed, and also the fact that it's not over the top rope, so you don't have those awkward spots of people just standing around and you
The
know what I
ring gets
mean?
too
Like,
full.
for half an hour I'm being pushed over a rope, and
Yeah.
you can do the high flying spots and outside the ring, and
And
yeah,
it
it's
can,
just it works so much better as a format for AEW.
yeah, and it can end at any point. I just think it worked so well, and I loved the contenders in this and the excitement and the. I think it just shows how strong the mid card is because I mean it's contentious calling it mid card because obviously it's for a world championship shot, but I feel like it was predominantly made up of mid carders, and I think it just shows how strong that upper mid card is.
Yeah, some really, really a lot of star power, and also every time you saw someone, you were like, oh, I'm glad they're getting their flowers. I'm glad they're
Definitely.
getting some time on All In because they deserve it. There wasn't anyone where I thought, why the hell are you here, you NPC? I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, everyone here deserves it. So yeah, we just had an announcement. Big Stoke, FTR, are done with the Outrunners, and they'll be on commentary for the the tag match later that night, which I don't know why we needed to announce that, but fair dues. Then we had, in my opinion, one of the most maybe I learned this, but one of the most bizarre matches of the night, which was the TNT four-way, and I told you no. Before the match. But I'll just say the TNT four-way was spoilt for me, the ending, because that was the spoiler that I read.
Right.
Um, but before that, we need to get into the Adam Cole stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't we look like dickheads? Cause
I
as
know, right?
NPC and business casual as he's been,
Man.
fuck me. We've been ribbing on him lovingly for since he's come back practically. And the funny thing is, when he came back, he made us cry, and he
Yeah.
made me cry tonight as well. And I was like, oh,
It was like full
bless you.
circle. Thank you. He made us cry at the start, made us cry at the end. Poor lad. I feel like, yeah, for all the shit I've said about him, his run, it's not his fault. Like, it's just been pretty dull when he's had the championship since he's come back, and I've been clamoring for him to lose the championship. Yeah, I'll admit that. I'll admit that. But did I want it to happen this way? Of course I fucking didn't. This was really sad, and um, he was. I mean, yeah, this is one of the examples of someone crying, and he was very upset, and so uh, it was. He said for medical issues. I think it's since been reported it's due to concussion. Um,
Yeah,
that this happened. That he apparently sustained in his match with Kyle Fletcher on Collision this week. So it's yeah, it's a real shame. Obviously, concussion is something that you have to take that shit seriously. It's no joke. So just hope that he's going to come back in the future. But he even said himself, like, I don't want this to be a retirement speech. I'm not sure if it is, but if it is, thank you for being an amazing audience. How heartbreaking is that? I mean, he's such a nice guy.
he's
It's
such a nice guy. He is such a nice guy,
seems
and
like such a
it
nice guy. I
makes it
don't know him
worse.
personally,
No,
but
everyone says that work with him and that you can't hate him. Like he's
yeah,
just a lovely guy. I think he really is a genuine person. But it sucks even more that the run's so shit when yeah potentially he could be retiring. We don't know. He's off on hiatus, and it's just such a shame because he's like labeled as one of those injury prone people. But it's like it's just shit luck. You know what I mean? Like his
yeah,
ankle and his head, they're not
not
related. He's
connected.
not
Yeah,
injury prone. The ankle thing as well, like I say, it was just him taking a step. And this is why the ankle, it really gets me. And then concussion just on a TV match with Kyle Fletcher is gutting. And literally a couple of nights before the biggest show of the year,
yeah,
you can't, so he couldn't even lose the belt. He he had to vacate it, which was, yeah, it was just absolutely heartbreaking. Um, and yeah, it was so emotional for me when the rest of the Paragon, Roddy and Kyle got in, and we've ribbed on them as well. But when they were crying, and Adam Cole was crying, and when he did his final Adam Cole baby, and oh, it was just so emotional,
yeah.
so emotional.
It was very emotional. It was very raw. It would have been easy for them to just be like, unfortunately, he's had to relinquish it due to an injury, so we're gonna have this four way. But I think it's nice that they gave him the chance to address it, even though it was difficult. It was like, clearly he's struggling through the fact that that's happened, but he's just putting his vulnerable self out there. I feel that's it's nice that he had the opportunity to do that, and it wasn't just like, right, we need to rush through this. We don't have time for this. It was like he was given the chance to actually go out on his own terms, in a sense, like reclaim at least some control over his shit situation, like, and just to address it, from his own in his own words.
Yeah. And I mean, just hopefully he gets better because, yeah, we do want to see him back. And that's the point, is like, it's just wasted kind of potential in it. And that's why, like, you're like, oh, it's so bland, because he is great and he's had great runs in the past. So hopefully this isn't the end, and, he can recover and is able to come back.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, but who knows? It's up in the air, which is just the worst. And I mean, we've seen it so many times, like, over our lifetime as a wrestling fan, with Edge and with Bryan Danielson and Daniel Bryan back in WWE. And luckily those two have been success stories. They've come back and recovered from injuries that at the time doctors were like, you're never going to wrestle again. So fingers crossed for Adam Cole that can happen for him.
Hopefully.
Oh, and Daniel Garcia as well, like his heartfelt hug and whatever he was saying to him, like, oh, the love. It was just beautiful, but sad, real sad.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, getting to this match, because I was interested to see what your reaction is to the winner, because you were also big on your review this week saying you want Kyle Fletcher to get the belt. I'm in the same mindset as you. Belt him up. He's a fucking stud. He's a star. Yeah. And fucking Dustin Rhodes won. And again, this was really emotional. So then, but yeah, what do you think? Are you happy for Dustin?
I am. Right. So if I have a look at my notes, right, I put Kyle obviously must win, but they're doing a pretty good job of making me believe it could be one of the others. And then one bullet point later, which was about 5 minutes later, oh, never mind. Dustin Rhodes wins. They pull a sneaky on us. And at first I was like, what the hell? But then I realised, it's his home state. It's the first singles championship he's won in AEW, like, since the first singles championship he's won since, like, the 90s, I believe. And I felt very happy for him. I was like, okay, well, this is a well-deserved moment. And on reflection, I can kind of imagine, obviously I don't know, but I'm kind of imagining the way the conversation might have gone, where it's like, okay, Kyle, you meant to win this, but if people are going to just assume that you are going to obviously win this fatal four-way now, so let's go a different direction just to make it a bit less predictable. And this is a chance for Dustin to have his moment, and perhaps that's the way it went. Who knows? But I feel like actually that was maybe a good thing. I feel like maybe that's better than the predictable outcome of Fletcher just winning it anyway. And I'm not sure, like, is Dustin going to have an incredibly amazing run? I feel like this championship is maybe just doomed to just not be that championship until we put it on someone like Kyle Fletcher. I feel like I'm not mad at I'm happy for Dustin, yes. But do I think that Kyle will be better with the belt? Yes. I feel like those things can both be true. What about you? Because obviously you had it spoiled, so, like, it's a bit different.
Yeah, I did spoil. I still enjoyed the match though, because I was like, how the fuck did they get to this, and who's taking the pin and stuff. But yeah, so when I first saw it, I was like, that's fucking stupid. I'm not gonna lie, because I just saw it on Instagram. I was like, fucking stupid. Why is Kyle Fletcher not won? Why? But yeah, similar with you, like, on reflection and just seeing how emotional he got, I was like, oh, you're such a bitch. You were a bitch about Adam Cole, and now you're a bitch early about Dustin. You need to stop being judgy. I was like, oh, karma. But yeah, no, it makes sense. And yeah, the conversations, you can imagine, it's literally a decision they've had to make within 24, 48 hours of who's going to win. It's difficult. but also, it's taken since the 90s for Dustin to win singles gold, and look at how good of a feel-good moment that is. And for Kyle Fletcher, it isn't going to hurt him like waiting a
Yeah,
little bit
right.
longer, and it is going to
Exactly.
be that much sweeter. And hopefully, he's like, I'm not winning gold. I'm with the Callis family. Me and Takeshita, we need to go do our own thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
it'll
a good point.
motivate him more to break away. But yeah, I enjoyed the match. I thought Sammy Guevara, Kyle Fletcher, and Dan Garcia. Not that Dustin didn't fit in or anything, but those three are really compatible in the ring. Very similar move set style, um, generational, uh, same generation. Yeah, it was a pretty fun match. Sammy Guevara was being his usual obnoxious self. Read the Spanish fly to Garcia off the apron. Um, we had that fun spot of Danny Garcia stopping Dustin, so they all did a series of unnatural kicks, followed by Sammy and Dustin. There was lots of fanfare in this match, similar to the trios match. They let the moments breathe. It wasn't just about spamming moves. It was about quality over quantity of moves. I feel like the Fletcher powerbomb to Daniel Garcia on the apron. Um, Dustin rolling Garcia, who had him in the Dragon Tamer, which led to the victory. Yeah, it was fun and super emotional. Like his nephews came out, I believe one of the Von Erichs um, was there, and it was just it was a feel good moment. And I think as well, like it kind of needed that because when Adam Cole and how heavy that was. Yeah, maybe as well it would have been a bit of a dampener if, even though we'd be rooting for Kyle Fletcher, he is the heel at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean? So it
exactly.
would be quite a negative segment. And I feel like the tone of the pay per view overall was we want to send people home happy. We want to cut the Death Riders down, and yeah, I feel like for the most part, the decisions that were made were very face heavy and feel good. That was kind of the priority.
Yeah, that's kind of like the theme of the night, which I think you need that. You need that like that night of payoff, and which usually the biggest show of the year is, and I feel like All In is usually that, like the big payoff moment where you get your serotonin, your happiness, your hope.
Dopamine.
Yeah, your dopamine hits. So I feel like this fit in on the card with all of that going on. And yeah, I enjoyed the match. I feel
But
like
yeah, his run.
out of context, Dustin Rhodes winning is a bit like what? Sorry, what? Why? But then in context, when you take it all the whole picture in, it's not a negative in my opinion.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, like I said, to see what his run's going to be like, whether it'll still be the same pool of people um,
Yeah.
gunning for it, or maybe some other people. I don't know, but yeah. Anything else, or have we cooked that
No.
one?
No, yeah, I think we covered it.
Okay, so speaking of again, feel good. If you're not a Young Bucks fan, feel good moments. This sort of match also followed that with Swerve and Ospreay against the Bucks. I have to say though, I was a little bit disappointed about this because I really wanted the Bucks to win because I thought that's more. I just feel like this is just the least interesting of the two because not only can they now just freely challenge, so there's no tension around
Yeah.
that, but also like the Bucks have lost their EVP titles, so it's also like they've kind of gone down. Like, what's their character going to be? So I wasn't a fan of this outcome. I'm not gonna lie. I was a big fan of the match, but don't know about the outcome.
I mean, yeah, that's fair enough. What you're saying about like the how you go forward with it is perhaps more interesting if the Bucks had won. But I do feel like the EVP thing is maybe a bit old now, so they need to do
Yeah,
something fresh. Um, to be honest, I just couldn't imagine a landscape. I know they could have done plenty of things with Osprey and Swerve without it involving the title picture, but it just felt too drastic. That just felt unrealistic to me. So I didn't see that happening. Um, and I'm this is what I thought was going to happen, and I think I was quite happy with it. But I do know where you and I've seen quite a few people say the same thing, that would have been way more interesting for like how does the story of Osprey and Swerve play out if they can't challenge for the championship.
Well, yeah, I feel like you could have done Swerve Osprey first of all, just going against each other, because Swerve would have been pissed at him. And I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah, that would be
I'm
great.
just a Lulu, and I've just bought into my own hype, and I'm convinced that Swerve is turning heel before he goes against Hangman. You've got a whole year to build that up as well, and you really slowly turn Swerve, and you could start the Hangman Swerve program a month, 2 months before the next year's All In, and then you have that match at All In, Swerve versus Osprey. No, sorry, Hangman versus Swerve. I'd really bought into that idea. I'm really in on it. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I agree with the EVP thing. Yeah, it's kind of old, and also feel good moments. Would it really have the same impact? Because it feels like with the main event, obviously, it's like a big reboot button's been pressed on
Yeah.
AEW, and we don't know what the landscape's going to be like come Dynamite. So yeah, I guess if the Young Bucks had retained their EVP titles, and it's kind of like the cloud of them is still sort of around, and you don't get that full refresh. So I think that's a fair argument.
Yeah, and I just think that I just felt like, yeah, with with everything else that was happening on the show, that this just felt like it made up sense.
Yeah. Also, the new video editor needs a raise.
Oh my
My God,
God.
they were really popping off at the start, like the transitions, the overlays, the velocity.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Incredible.
big fan.
I totally agree. They deserve all the bonuses in that paycheck.
Yeah. So the entrances for this were super fun as well. We had the Assassin's Creed sponsor again for Osprey. Um, he just fucking launched from from that platform. He was up in the air. We had JoJo doing a cover of "Ain't Nobody" by Shaka Khan, which apparently Swerve used to come out to in his indie days. You gotta love a bit of Shaka Khan, and then the Bucks coming out on their boat and the long spiel. That was hilarious to me. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
It's so them. It's so the Young Bucks. Like what even? They're about to start rapping a song from Hamilton.
And I know you were saying like, oh, they're bad actors, but so is Kenny. But I love that they're so that's part of their appeal for me is they're just so camp.
Yeah, they really
Like they're
are.
just so fucking camp.
It's
Such a
not a slight
caricature.
on it's not a slight on them whatsoever.
My limo.
They're
It's
hilarious.
like GCSE drama.
Yeah,
What's happened to my limo?
exactly
It's just
that. Exactly.
I love it though. Stupid.
It's really
Not
stupid.
everyone can be a Hangman Adam Page, can they? Not everyone can have the acting chops.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, this match was freaking awesome though. I really enjoyed watching Swerve and Ospreay work together. It's a shame that that's probably going to be over now. They're going to go their respective ways. But I love the Sky Twister press off Swerve's back. They were because the commentary were really playing into that, weren't they? Of like, can their synergy match the Young Bucks? Because they don't even need to think about it. They're brothers. They've been wrestling since they were kids. Can Swerve and Ospreay can they get on the same page, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, they certainly did.
it's a little bit of a cliche, and it's a very easy story to tell, but it's it's effective. You know, you put it's like it's two singles wrestlers who are happen to be in a team versus a tag team, which yeah, that story always works really well. And I thought the way they played it off was really nice. And but like you said, Osprey and Swerve were still they worked together well as a team. It wasn't sort of the boring thing of like, oh, they're just in it for themselves sort of thing. Like they were willing to work together. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Bucks doing the assisted senton twice, the second one being outside of the ring. Later on, we had the stereo sky twisters from Osprey and Swerve, one to the outside, one to the in a part of the ring. And yeah, the synchronization of those moves was absolutely fantastic. Then we had that amazing where the crowd popped so hard for it, that flurry sequence, with super kicks and ducks and strikes, and it's finished off by the stereo house call and hidden blade.
Oh,
Just
love that.
incredible.
Love that
Chef's
so much.
kiss. Um, yeah, the TK driver on the outside, which they
Oh
tried
my
to do
God.
to Ospreay. Swerve broke it up, so to repay him later on, they did the TK driver on the outside to him, and yeah, the hidden blade and Ospreay. And then this was the part where we got loads of near falls,
Hmm.
which I bought into every single
Yeah, me
damn
too.
one.
Me too.
Um, yeah, loads. Um, And then we had that amazing part of Swerve crawling to take the bullet of the spiked super kicks, which was great bit of brotherhood, and the tombstone pile driver stomp um, on the books. Another near fall kick out. I really bought into that one, but it was the house call hidden blade for the win. And yeah, as I said, we discussed the ending. It might not have been what I would have done, but I feel like there's pros and cons to either one, and breaking it down, it's like, okay, fair enough. And I'll try to get excited because it's like you say, maybe the book's going to debut a new character, or they're probably just off to Hawaii, which is valid.
Probably. I mean, why not? Um, but I don't know if you've seen, but Osprey and oh no, I've seen a thing on Twitter that apparently Swerve and Osprey were being listed on the AEW roster page as EVPs now. But I've just been and
What?
checked. I've just been and checked, and it's not on. I can't see it at least on the website. So I guess someone might have edited that um as a laugh, which you worked me, guys. It did make me laugh. But I don't think that's real. So I just
Yeah.
brought that up for no reason. My apologies.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, Move on to the women's casino.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, so this was a lot of fun. It's the same format as the men's, but it definitely had its own sort of flavor. It's kind of a double-edged sword because it feels really exciting watching the combination of women, but that's because they don't get showcased that much. But then
Mhm.
watching this, you're like, wow, they really do have like a breadth, a depth of talent on the roster. And it's like, fuck, man, there's so much to be excited about in the women's division. And this was a great display of that, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just every entrance just had like I said for the men's, it was just like excitement. It was just like who's going to be next, and then I felt like everyone got a really good pop as well, which was so nice to hear. And I felt like the women really went for broke with this as well. Like it just felt like the action was non-stop, and they were taking some pretty high risk as well. I felt like with some high spots. Um, so yeah, overall, I love this match. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah, and even though I knew it wasn't going to happen, I was delusional in this because I thought, well, they had the Juice Robinson return, so what if Britt Baker returned? And then like I convinced myself that I imagine how
Oh,
shocking that would be. Obviously,
yeah,
that did not happen.
I thought that too. I honestly had the same thought process, to be fair.
I thought if
And
they're going to do it, that's surely when they do it. But
yeah,
yeah, it's not looking good.
when Harley Cameron showed up, she looks a little bit like Britt Baker in that mask. I was like, oh my fucking God, but like for one hot second, but no. Um,
No. So we had Stat and Bane opening the match as our initial entrance. Then we had Willow coming out, which was lovely. We had some getting into it with Stat, Ty Mello. Then yeah, we had the Pink Panther, Harley Cameron, first appearance since breaking her nose. We had Anna Jay as well, being chased off by Penelope Ford. So they sort of tied up the ends of that with um, their match that they'd had against Anna Jay and Harley Cameron's match that they'd had it with Penelope Ford and Megan Bain. We had Tekla. I feel like her and Julia Hart need to have a program ASAP because aura. Word of the day, aura.
yeah,
infinite aura points.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love those two. It's like they're constantly trying to one up each other. And they match each other's energy. So yeah, I would like to see it. I would like to see a
Yeah,
match.
yeah, mad chemistry. We had Aminata coming out, so she kind of got into it with Tekla.
I'm I'm just obsessed with Queen Amanata. I'm sorry, but the way she beats the shit out of
Valid.
it just it's she's so
Her build
intense.
as well. Yeah, like she doesn't look like she's tall, but she's quite thin, so she doesn't look like she'd be able to
A big
pack that much of a
barn.
punch. But fuck me, she wrestles very stiff.
Yeah,
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 beats the shit out of people. It's
yeah,
amazing.
and I loved how when she entered, I think Tekla was doing her spider shit when she's like,
Yeah,
upside down, and she quickly snapped out of it as soon as that music hit. I thought that was great. It was just another example of the great camera work. And there was a lot of instances like that where someone was like getting into something and then the camera caught their reaction. Like, I think I mentioned it with MJF and Mystico earlier, and this was yeah
yeah,
that again.
yeah. Then we had Mina Shirakawa and holy shit, Athena, which was
Yeah,
awesome. Thunder Rosa, who fought Athena last night. They kept tying in the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which I thought was pretty good. Pretty good way to build intrigue.
yeah, definitely. I
Um,
mean, it's worked on us too, hasn't it? It's made us want to watch it. So
yeah, yeah, it further motivates you. It's just nice to see people like Athena and like Bandido um, become bigger players on Dynamite. 'Cause that's the thing. It can't hurt. Exposure can't hurt.
yeah,
It's when these people are on AEW, Dynamite, or Collision, and then you're like, well, why would I go watch this other thing? I think that not Ring of Honor, oh, it's on fire out like that, but I feel like that's the way to build intrigue is to show it and not just have people come on with the belts and lose
yeah, for sure.
all the time. That is not the way.
Yeah, definitely not.
We had the debuting of Shuri, which
Hmm.
is pretty exciting. Yeah, I enjoy. I was my first time watching her. Was not super familiar with her before, but yeah, I was
Yeah, me,
pretty impressed. She's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah, same.
Also, Alex Windsor debuting.
Hmm. Yeah,
Osprey's missus.
yeah. I think she has wrestled like maybe once before in AEW. I feel like they
Yeah,
said that on commentary, but I can't remember who it was against.
that
But
does
yeah,
ring a bell. She's signed now though, isn't she? So she's
yeah,
like properly over there. But also, it's like, who's watching like the kid? Are they just going to move to America? Because that's crazy, man. If like both your parents are going backwards and forwards
shit.
from the
Yeah,
UK and America.
that's a good point. I didn't even think of that, to be honest. I mean,
Maybe Tony Khan is vying. He's like, sign Alex Windsor, and then you have to move to the States. Stop with the bloody jet lag. 'Cause it's
I
crazy.
mean, yeah. Because how does that work? And the kid's like really young as well. Because imagine if
Yeah.
they're both like, yeah, if the kid's still in the US, I mean, in the UK, and just like stay with grandparents or whatever. But imagine if both the parents are flying back and forth. Yeah,
We're
that
invested.
sounds horrific. Interested to know the
uh,
logistics of this childcare.
gonna run a childcare plan right now. Um, but yeah, it was another exciting debut, and it'll be interesting to see how she carves out a niche because it is difficult when you come in and like you just know. And as like I say, even me, I'm like, oh, Osprey's misses. I hope that she can get her own flowers, and I'm sure she will by herself because yeah, it is annoying when you're known by your partner. But at the same time, would she have gotten this opportunity if she went with Osprey? Maybe not as fast. So hopefully it's a good thing depending on how you look at it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see an independent British wrestler start getting a big opportunity, no matter how you look at it. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But the ending. Athena fucking out of nowhere just launches in, picks up the victory. Tony Arrow, he's loving the hometown victories tonight. He's
Oh
fucking
yeah.
loving it. He's feeling the Texas
It's
pride.
all about
I
Tom
was shook of funny.
Brady.
I was not expecting Athena to win.
No, me neither. I feel like if when if we done the Dynamite Go Home Dynamite review together, like one of us maybe mentioned Athena, I feel like I would have been like, "Huh, yeah, maybe she does have a chance actually." But she didn't even cross my mind that she was going to be in the match. Um, so I just didn't even consider her as a contender really.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it was completely out of nowhere. Um, but then this made me think that Mercedes was definitely going to win because I was like, "Oh yeah," because those
No, I was the opposite. I was like, I really hope Mercedes don't win because I was like, we've done Mercedes Athena. I want Tony Storm versus Athena. That's so fun.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough, and you, of course, ended up being right. This was the point where I was like, oh, so if those rumors were true, then obviously Mercedes is going to win. That's great. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, it threw me. It threw me. But I mean, I was really happy for Athena. I think that's it's exciting. But then now we're also getting into another point where like she's the number one contender, but she's also already a champ. So it's like an
True.
existing
I
champion.
was
I don't think
hoping
it's a
though
necessarily
that
bad thing, but
because she's won this that they are going to transition her more onto Dynamite. But I don't know
yeah,
if they ever will because like she is Ring of Honor, she is the draw. So it's like, would you ever remove the draw from there? I'm not too sure, but I was hoping that this is kind of like a proper call up because I'm just hoping this is like a proper program. She's gonna get proper time on Dynamite to get over, and it's
yeah.
not a case of oh I'm here, I'm gone. It's a fly visit, you know,
Hopefully. I mean, even if I feel like this maybe is an
trial.
attempt to draw in more people to watch Ring of Honor, but
True.
even if that is the case, like you'd still hope that she'd get a lot of time on Dynamite to get people invested. So yeah, I mean, I'm just interested in seeing how it goes. I think I think she's fantastic. I think I don't know. I had no idea who was going to win this. I just sort of haphazardly said maybe Chris Statlander. So I just wonder like where what's going to happen with her and Willow after this.
Yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed the match, and I was pleasantly surprised by the ending.
Yeah. And I feel like this pay-per-view as well, it was a lot of, I know the word payoff for throwing it around a bit, but payoff for people who've worked really, really
So
hard
true, yeah.
and like they've had to wait a long time to get their flowers. So
So
yeah,
true.
that kind of like lent into that. But
So true.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. It's exciting. So then we had the tag team title freeway match with Jet Speed, Hurt Syndicate, and the Patriarchy. We got a live performance of the Hurt Syndicate theme. I was loving one of the rappers. They had a bedazzled MJF top on. I was like, that's such a
Yeah.
choice. Like, was he like, you MJF? I'm gonna wear your face, and I've got sparkles on it. Like, how did that come about? But I
I
want
want
that
that
top.
top. Oh, jinx. Get that on awshop.com now.
I know it's gorgeous. And also MVP rapping, peak aura. My God, that man, he's just so fucking cool. It's like I never
Multi-talented
forget
king.
when we went to last year's All In and we were walking to Mackey's and we saw Swerve and he was just there with his squad and he was just dripped
Yeah.
out and you just thought, fuck me,
It's a
you're
cool
so
guy.
cool.
Yeah.
Such a cool guy. MVP. He's just so. I'll never
One
be
of those
that cool.
people, yeah.
I'll never be MVP with my cane, walking in, rapping to my own stable song. I'm never gonna get that. I want it. I want
Eh,
to feel a lick of that.
I know. What's it like to be that awesome? I mean, yeah, I
To
will
be that
never
much of a
know.
Chad, what is it like?
You never know.
I'll never come close to that greatness. Um, yeah, we had FTR on comms, basically rage baiting Tony Schiavone. Um, It would hurt Syndicate dominating out of the gate. I mean, the way they deliver bumps is just crazy, and especially it always seems to be Mike Bailey.
Oh my God,
How
I know.
how much damage does that man take? He gets. I don't know if it's just him as well being a great seller, which I'm sure is
I
part
think
of it,
that's
but
part of
it
it,
just
yeah.
looks like he gets murdered every time he steps in the ring with him.
I know, especially that German suplex over the top rope out side of the ring, like, what the fuck? That was crazy. That shocked me.
If I was nitpicky though, I would say it would have been nice if we just sold some of the injuries because the Hurt Syndicate had a brutal beatdown, so they could have sold some
So
injuries, and
true.
also like Jet Speed have been beaten down. But it's like just every time they come in face to face, they just regenerate.
That is so
Full
true.
health bar every
Yeah.
fucking time.
Yeah, that is incredibly true.
Um, yeah, Knight thrown on the steel steps, that was pretty gnarly.
Oh my God, yeah.
Christian Cage, the frog splash on Knight and MVP distracting the ref, so bit fucky there. Should they have picked up the victory? Um yeah, Knight doing the drop kick to win, who Speedball had elevated to the outside. That was pretty lots of high risk maneuvers during this match, just trying to murder each
I
other.
mean, yeah, I know we've said about Speedball taking some bumps. I mean, what about Nick Wayne? He was also taking some insane bumps. He always does. I feel like I feel like I don't really see him wrestle all that often, but when he does, he's like, murdering himself.
Maybe that's because I mean, obviously now you think he's going to get a bit more TV time, but because maybe he's like really trying to max out his minutes, and that's why
Yeah,
he's doing the high risk stuff.
makes sense.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Lashley throwing Christian into FTR, uh, repeatedly, and I believe was it the spear for the
Yeah,
win
it
onto
was, yeah.
Christian when he got him back in the ring. Uh. Yeah. So as far as the match goes, pretty predictable, pretty fun. Hurt Syndicate continue to, and I just pity myself when MJF and they're going up the ramp and it's like, it's what we do, baby. We hurt people. It's just I just love him. I know I've said it, but I just love him in the act. Like he's so invested, and it was so cute as well because Lashley like gave him a hug and smiled, and I was like, oh, that's cute.
No, how far we've come. I bet you're happy for Max.
I
Bless him.
know. I
He's
know.
got friends
Uh,
now.
so the post match
This
was
was the
crazy.
the newsworthy thing. I feel like the match it wasn't bad, but it definitely it wasn't as the standout match on the card, and then it was definitely the um aftermath. So that's the word I'm looking for. The aftermath, which is the memorable part.
This is one of those things as well where, like, at the time it's quite shocking, but then afterwards it's like, oh, well, when were they going to pull the trigger? Obviously, at, like, the biggest event of the year. It
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense, but it was crazy because Nick Wayne, um, he looks like he's protecting Cage from FTR who've gotten into the ring. And then Cage, he pulls his sons, his proverbial sons, Kip and Nick, behind him. And as he goes to leave the ring, Nick Wayne does the kill switch, which Christian sells to the gods. I mean, he was like spasming on the ground. I was like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ, bro.
doing
Um,
the seizure cell.
the seizure cell. But I think what was kind of shocking with this was the fact that Shayna and Kip were on side with Nick, especially because
Yeah,
they've been
right, yeah.
sowing the seeds of jealousy for ages with Kip and Nick Wayne. I was like, oh, but I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was refreshing, and for something that, yeah, it's kind of predictable because you knew the turn was coming, it still felt quite shocking when it happened. And
Yeah.
the fact that they made Christian so sympathetic when he's been a dick. He's been a dick for so long. How they managed to make him sympathetic was great in this segment.
Yeah, I mean, I think I sort of said it like ages ago. Like I feel like Christian's going to be the face in this. I feel like he's being built a little bit sympathetically, and then when Nick turned on him originally, I was a bit like, okay, who are we meant to cheer in this situation? Like, where are we going with this? Because at that point it was quite ambiguous. But then, yeah, Mother Wayne was on side, and she slapped Christian across the face. I felt like as well this finally made sense why Kip Sabian was brought into this whole thing. Because imagine if he hadn't and Nick Wayne just turned on Christian and it was just him and his mum. Like it just looks lame. Like just yeah,
Mm.
me and my mum. But no, he's got his teammate like on side. So now he's sort of like the leader, I guess. Like and he's assumed that role that Christian once had. So, yeah, I completely agree with what you said though. Like, I wasn't expecting it for some reason, even though we knew it was coming. It makes total sense that it'd be on this, the biggest show of the year. Or, potentially it could have been on the Aftermath show because they always tend to be quite chaotic, don't they? But I think for this match to be memorable, that it needed something big and dramatic like this. So yeah.
Yeah, and then we had FTR helping set up the concerto, and then Adam Copeland coming out. He's been out of action for a long time. He had a spike in hand. He did the clothesline to FTR. Obviously, last time he was in the ring, FTR betrayed him. And even though rated FTR, it wasn't my favourite thing in the world. I thought the payoff in this was really fun, and everyone in that ring being together and having history and switching alliances. I thought, even though it was a bit of a slog to get through, okay, it was pretty fun when it push came to shove, I thought.
Cope like made his big entrance, like taking his sweet time, like dancing to his music and that on the ramp. Meanwhile, his friend was like on the cusp of having his neck broken in the middle of the ring. It just cracked me up. I love that about wrestlers. It's like the situation is urgent, but it's never urgent enough for me to not make my entrance and to have a lot of pyro.
Wrestling logic.
It just makes me giggle every time. That's also just reminded me as well, that Big Boom AJ got pyro on the pre-show. I just feel like that's
Love to see it.
an important piece of information. Yeah, and Cope said, "Go find yourself," which was a little bit cringe.
Yeah, it was very high drama because Kopi was stood over Christian and he had Spike in hand, so he wasn't sure what he was going to do, but he threw it down and helped him up, and then, yeah, go find yourself. But it sounded like he said girl. I was like, girl, find yourself. I don't know. But it's just like, really, is that what you say? Like, did you have to make that like a teaching moment? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
be realistic. Like, you've taken ages to run down the ramp. You've brought Spike. You didn't use it. You pick him up. He's like just lost his girlfriend, his sons, everything, and you're like, go find yourself. Like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you were Christian in that situation, you'd say, "Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone." You're not in that advice taking mindset. I mean, that's such a good point as well. I never even thought about it like that. Like he's actually just lost his girlfriend as well. He's lost his absolute MILF of a girlfriend. That
Yeah,
is
go
true
find
heartbreak.
yourself instantly. Like, bro, give mans a second to recover from fumbling the bag of the century, aka Miss Shayna. But there is something about Edge and Christian that does just always get me in the feels, seeing them together in the ring, no
Yeah.
matter what, because it's like they were like best friends and like they've wrestled together throughout the years and they've come up together, and sometimes Edge has been on top, sometimes Christian, but there's just something about them that I just love. So I love that they're gonna get to have that run together, and probably win the tag belts one last time, you would think. But
Oh yeah. I mean, I love
yeah,
that about AEW sometimes like we get those sort of fairy tale endings or those things that you never thought you'd get to see and then
yeah,
they make it happen. It's very nice. Um, but I mean, I'm sorry to be that person, but isn't it kind of bad that we're talking all about the patriarchy who were only added to this match like 2 weeks ago? It was meant to be Hurt Syndicate versus Jet Speed. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. Not saying.
yeah. But what was that ever going to be? Like I said, like
Yeah,
I
I
never
know.
ever felt for one moment that Jet Speed uh believable, because they just
No.
don't have that element of strategy about them. Their strategy is just keep getting up no matter how many times you get beat
Yeah.
down, which is like is admirable, but it never feels like, yeah, like they're gonna win. But it's fine. Like, it was still a fun match, and I still feel fondly about Jet. It's not like I watched them lose and thought, oh fuck me, they've lost all the momentum.
Yeah, true. That is true.
I'll be like, oh, I had a fun time watching them get beat up.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And I mean,
This is
in
why I said
fairness,
they need to be with Ricochet, not gates of agony. Yeah, I'm having agony having to watch you on my fucking screen.
oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with that whole sort of because Mike Bailey and
Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin Knight.
Yeah, Kevin Knight. I was thinking, what's his name? Jet Knight. Oh, my
Jet
brain's
Knight,
my brain.
Kevin, Ball Speed, yeah, it all merges together.
Yeah. Anyway, I think they're just so good, and they're a really endearing team. But what's the end game, man? I don't know. But I just try to like look at it positively. Like they're still good, and they didn't take the pin. They didn't, even though they got beat up, they didn't look weak. So it's all good. You know, Christian took the pin, so he
Just
gets
keep
even
it
more
moving.
sympathy. So
MVP looked cool rapping. Just don't deep it. I think that's what we got to do
exactly.
with the tag division. That's what I've started doing with the Hurt Syndicate. I'm just like, I'm just gonna focus on how fucking cool these people are. I'm not gonna because you just overthink it and then you just anger yourself.
You just go around. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like
Well, it comes.
wrestling. I talked about wrestling gratitude. This is wrestling grounding techniques.
Mhm.
Okay,
Well,
just think
it's
less, feel more.
that's exactly what I was about to say. Exactly what I was about to say. It's our old
One brain cell,
catchphrase.
baby.
It's our old catchphrase. Comes down to that. Think less, feel more.
Yeah. So then we start the triple main event, which,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it was a lot.
gosh,
It was a lot,
yeah.
baby.
I have to say
The
that like
women's match.
that tag
Yeah.
match, I forgot it was happening. So I was like, oh, it's Mercedes versus Tony next. And then this tag match happened. And I was like, oh fucking Christ alive. Okay, got to slog through this. So yeah, I was flagging by this point, but I have revisited these next two matches today, just because I knew I was tired and probably not giving it my full attention. But yeah, by this point it felt like the show was really fucking long, but it felt like, oh, it's okay because these three matches are
Yeah.
gonna be epic, so it's totally fine. I quite like the way they did that because usually you'd maybe have Mercedes versus Tony, Okada versus Omega, and then like a shit
And then
match.
probably the tag
Oh,
match, to
yeah,
be honest with you, would
yeah,
probably have been the buffer.
exactly. Which I don't know why they do that. That just brings people down. I mean, I do understand why, but I feel like this works better.
But I suppose it would have worked there because, like, you have the high of Edge returning, Adam Copeland returning, sorry,
True.
and Christian and that. So I guess it wouldn't have
True.
been so tragic. But yeah, I liked it too. But I agree. I wasn't flagging during the women's. I was just having a fucking crisis during the women's. I was so stressed out. I needed Tony Storm to win. I just really needed Tony to win. But then I did flag during Okada Kenny. I'm not gonna lie. And I think
Yeah.
also the pacing of that match didn't really help it because, and also it's just like I do love Okada, I do love Kenny, and I was happy to have that match, but my head was with Hangman Adam Page, and
Yeah,
I
right.
needed to know. I needed to know.
Yeah.
But because of the nature of these matches being big feel matches, I also kept having like third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th wins. Like I'd be really tired and then I'd be like, holy shit,
Yes,
like I'm
me
watching this
too.
match. It's like I'd keep glitching out. I'd be like, whoa, what's going on? Then I'd be
Yeah,
like,
that kept happening
I'm
to me
EP.
too. Especially with like the big spots, I'd sort of be like, "Whoa, what the hell?" And that'd bring me back into it.
So yeah, were you not stressed for the women's then? Because I feel like you were happy either person who won, but I don't know why. I think because I wanted Tony to win, because yeah, I wanted her to go against Athena, but I feel like this match was like a big definition of what's more important, like like because to me Tony is such like a homegrown talent. She is old AW, and then Mercedes is new, and it's like what's more important. And I don't
Mhm.
know, I just feel like it's kind of like a microcosm, and Tony was representative of something bigger for me, and I don't know why, but I was just so emotionally invested. I really loved this match. If the men's match won on this card, this would have been my match of the night.
Yeah, this was great. This was fantastic. I didn't feel stressed about who was going to win. I was just along for the ride. I'm really interested to see how it was gonna play out. And I think I kind of explained why I thought that Mercedes was going to win on the last episode, just because I felt like Tony has she'd be less impacted by a loss. And I still do kind of feel that way, but I understand what you mean as well. And I do, I like that way of looking at it, that Tony's like, she's one of the OGs. And, and that speaks to that's important in AEW.
Yeah, and also like the whole story is to Mercedes, it's just another belt. So
Yeah,
like if Mercedes had won it, it's kind of like a down feeling. That's what I mean, like the positive feeling. Whereas Tony winning it, it's like this is the belt for me. I'm not
yeah,
bothered about my legacy. I'm bothered about my death. I'm bothered about
yeah,
this belt is all I care about. So there's also that spin on it as well.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, when you say that, I love that, and I love especially the ending felt very, yeah, just very positive. And I feel like if Mercedes would have won, it would have. I know that she's got a lot of fans, but obviously she's the heel, so it still would have been that kind of moment. And then that belt risks just becoming like an accessory and not meaning anything. And the two, the TBS and the women's like together. How do you then distinguish between the two? So overall, having thought about it, yeah, I agree. I think this was probably the better outcome.
And as well, if Mercedes had won it, just be I like Mercedes, but it would just be too much Mercedes, and she'd
Yes.
be way too OP. And this ending keeps like the balance. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
And it works better for Mercedes because it's gonna mean she's gonna have edge.
Bit of
She's gonna
depth.
still be jaded. Yeah. Whereas if she just won, she's just like I'm the CEO and I beat everyone. She needs not. She needed knocking down a peg or two. Whereas if Tony had been knocked down, it'd just be sad.
That's so true. Yeah, that is so
It's
true.
it's gonna make Mercedes losing, it's going to make her meaner, it's going to make her more twisted, more darker. Whereas if Tony had have lost, it would have been way harder to build her back up. Because how would you, surely she's going to be like dejected. I don't know how to describe it, but I just feel like emotionally, sometimes it's good for the heel to lose because when a heel loses, they can keep going darker. Whereas if a face loses, it cuts the momentum off, I feel like.
I think that oh, I just totally lost my train of thought like mid sentence. Then that's really weird.
Buffering.
Sorry, bear with me. What was I going to say? Um, I can't remember at all. Um, oh, I remember. Sorry. I feel like from now we can revisit this, and Tony is sort of like Mercedes, like kryptonite. Like she's the one person she couldn't beat, or that she's the one person that she's scared of because she, um, you know, obviously yeah, she's the one who ret kept hold of that championship, and it's the one championship that's eluded her. Maybe we can revisit that story. That's the one
Yeah,
championship of
absolutely.
all of them that she's never been able to get, and that eats away at her. That makes her even more mean, because she knows she wasn't good enough on that occasion. So I think, yeah, 100%. That's it's going to make Mercedes more, like you said, just well-rounded as a character, and just give her a little bit more depth rather than
And these two
there's-
are great foils, aren't they?
yeah,
They're great
100%.
foils against each other, so I can definitely see them having the sort of rivalry that does go on for ages and ages, and they just keep circling each other like Okada and Omega. I feel like it's very similar. Mercedes is the Okada in my eyes, and Tony is the Kenny. And yeah, I feel like every wrestler, the greatest wrestlers always have one great rivalry. Name a timeless, not probably
Huh.
ironic word, but a timeless wrestler who don't have a rival. You need that. So yeah, why? This way feels like you said, it's less definitive. I don't
Mm,
know why, but if Tony would have lost, it would have felt more definitive. But Mercedes losing, it feels like yeah, the story ain't over, baby.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And the fact of them being foils, I think, was evident throughout this match. Like, especially right at the start, like she was like having fun. She was sort of, I feel like having fun's the wrong way to put it, because it was like she was taking it seriously, but like she was doing the dance and she was like making fun of Mercedes and stuff. She never takes herself too seriously, whereas that's like the polar opposite to Monet, who's always, she's so vain and she always wants to come across in the best possible way. So I thought that worked so well.
I mean, yeah, the entrance is like a picture paints 1,000 words. A wrestling entrance paints 50,000. Because yeah, you had Mercedes with the Texas Rangers cheerleaders and the cart and then the robe as well with all the names of her
Oh my God.
defeated opponents. And then you had Tony just coming out really true to herself, film noir, just it's just Tony Storm, baby. That is the show, that is the act, honey. And she just
Yeah.
walked down in a crazy makeup and a beautiful attire and proceeded to wrestle the match. It was great, a great start. And yeah, I mean, this match was just crazy. It was so long. The near falls were crazy, and they both just looked fucked. Like they sweat all over the place. Makeup was running. They absolutely gave it their all this match, and it really. I mean, the stakes were already high, but it just brought it to another level, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Um, I felt like the pacing was really good.
Mm.
Um, especially like I, I don't know, in my notes I've described it as close proximity wrestling. I don't know really know exactly what I meant by that. I feel like they were just there was never really any space between them. Like in the ending sequence, it was like they couldn't get away from each other, and it was very scrappy and like tight roll ups and big packages. I love the fact that Tony calls it the big package that she often wins with that, and she was pulling that out. So you were always on the edge of your seat, like, is the match going to end? Um, and also like Mercedes' way of kicking out that's so weak, and it's not really a kick out. All she's doing is just moving her arm up a little bit. It just felt very sort of like visceral, like they were really tired and just wanted to end it, and it felt like a real fight, I thought.
Yeah,
It
yeah, and
wasn't
I
like
enjoyed it.
high flying or anything or like dead fast paced, but it was just it was smooth and scrappy. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Carry on.
No, no, no. I love the name close proximity wrestling. We'll definitely use that in future because that's so true. And I was just going to say that I really liked at the start the use of Luther.
Yeah.
She him to throw Mercedes off the ring apron, but later he received a really nasty uh, meteora. So that was fun. Yeah, and at the start it was a bit more like open ended, but as you say, it was like it got tighter and tighter and tighter. Like the rope, they ran out of rope and yeah, it was just crazy. I really loved when Mercedes she shook out of the Storm Zero into the ankle lock. That was really nice. So I mean, close proximity wrestling. It was everything was so tight together and just
Yeah.
wanting to get it over as fast as possible because the longer it goes on, the more likely your opponent could win. And it felt like for either of them to lose, even though I really wanted Tony to win, it really was life or death. It really was
Yeah.
legacy making.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Mercedes Moné is very underrated chain wrestler because I think she doesn't do it in that traditional sort of catch can style that looks really technical and like chain wrestling. But when you actually watch her matches, a lot of the things that she does is actually chain wrestling because it involves holds, it involves transitioning from one thing to the other. Um, so I think she's she's just brilliant, and yeah, I really like her style of wrestling. And I also like that she was resorting to things like biting Tony to escape the chicken wing submission. Like it's getting desperate. Like you said, it's life or death. And when they both like collided heads, like where they both went for the headbutt and they were just both down. So simple but
Yeah.
effective.
Also, Tony's nose as well. I don't know if like she busted it open or what,
Yeah.
but she had blood coming out. Looked pretty nasty. Um, it was the Avalanche Storm Zero though that picked up the win, and as well because there's so many near falls, it kind of gets to the point where when she did pick up the victory, it's kind of unbelievable because
Yeah.
yeah, you're in suspension because part of you every pinfall you think there's no way they're going to kick out of that, but then also you're like, there's no way this can be over. So, yeah, but it
Yeah.
was crazy. It was a crazy, crazy victory, definitely, and unexpected. Because even though I did want Tony to win, I just really thought Mercedes was going to win. Like my heart
Yeah,
said
I
Tony,
did.
but my head said Mercedes.
I was convinced she was going to win. Those, especially because she kicked out of three Storm Zeros in a row, I felt like
Yeah,
that was a bit wild. Like, what the hell? They were like consecutive, one after the other after the other. Then pinfall. I was like, Jesus Christ. It's a bit OP kicking out of that. Not to be that person. I don't really care about stuff like that, but wrestling's fake, whatever. It doesn't have to be realistic. But I just felt like that was really quite extreme. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was very, 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 very good, and I'm really excited to see. It's a great match because I'm excited for what both of them are going to do. I'm excited to see Mercedes go on an absolute fucking warpath, and I'm really excited to see Tony against Athena. So I walked away a very happy customer, very happy indeed.
That is so tasty. That is so gonna bang. Like the concept of Tony Storm versus Athena didn't really feel tangible until now, and now it's like, oh my God, give me it right now.
Yeah. So then we had Okada versus Kenny, and we had Jim Ross on commentary,
Bless
which
him.
was lovely. The commentary was absolutely fucking rammed because we had we had a 4-man and then Don Callis as
Yeah.
well. So lots of cooks in the kitchen.
I do think
Omega.
that I can't blame Excalibur for this, but he did sound so tired towards the end. I feel like his energy was lacking. I feel like we've got so many people. Could we not have swapped out Excalibur, giving him a little break? Bless him. Like, how long was he going for? Like, it must have been like 7 hours, including the pre-show. It's crazy.
But he is the best at what he does, isn't he? He's the best play-by-play middleman. But yeah,
That's what I
Rick
was
Barney.
thinking.
Where was Ian?
I know. I feel like just a little break from just go to the bathroom or something. I felt the energy sort of falling a little bit flat towards the end on commentary. I'm not sure if I'm not trying to criticize them because it's a really difficult thing to do, but it's just a little observation. I feel more sympathy. That sounds really condescending though, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to say, oh my God, commentary shit. I'm just saying I feel for them because that was a really long shift.
Yeah, especially when there's so many people and they can tag in and out and alternate. There really is. There's no reason why they couldn't have done. But yeah, this match was awesome. The start was awesome. We had the crazy opening reaction, big match feeling.
Yeah, it had like a generational fight feel. Like, I feel like big fight feel it's just not a big enough phrase to describe like just what this really felt like.
We had the slow swipes, toe to toe to start with, very strategic, cerebral, and so much pressure on him. I thought, Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
he must have been so
100%.
stressed out because, you're calling it like generational match, big match feel. I mean, I don't know how they do it every time they step in the ring with each other and know how much people have anticipation for their matches. It must be crazy pressure. Yeah, this match was to be expected. It was good and it was fun. It was quite slow paced to start with, as always is, but it was fucky and there was lots of interferences and sometimes it worked, like that bit where I can't remember. It was like, yeah, there was a one-winged angel towards the end and Callis pulled the ref out. Okay, pretty fun, pretty exciting. But there was just other parts where it was just distracting. It's like Rocky Romero's here. Don Callis is getting up, getting his licks in on Kenny. And it was just like, I could just do without it, I don't
Yeah,
need it.
I feel like we could have got rid of the Rocky Romero bit and Ibushi. Like, I don't feel like we needed that. I didn't even notice
I liked
Ibushi was
Ibushi
there.
though.
I
Because
didn't
I
notice
feel
he was
like,
there. I was like, what? And then Justin Roberts said, "Oh, he's accompanied by Ibushi." I was like, "What? Have I missed something?"
but he sorted out when Rocky Romero came in and Callis, Ibushi was able to equalise that. So I did like that because if you are going to have the Callis family there, at least they had someone in Kenny's corner because
Yeah,
it would have been 10 times worse if Kenny was just getting beat on.
oh,
I'm sorry, like
100%.
that would be 10 times worse. But yeah,
100%. I feel like we could have got
I
rid
mean,
of that bit altogether,
got rid
though.
of it, get rid of all of them. Get rid of all
Yeah,
of them, really. But
I feel like what Callis did when he pulled the referee out, like you said, that was quite exciting. That was
yeah,
okay. When
high energy.
he didn't need to really do the thing where he was beating down on Kenny because it's just humorous because it clearly didn't hurt him at all. But I think if anyone's going to do it, I think Don Callis is quite good at it because he's on commentary putting over the opponent and he also knows how to be a heel without like making the referee look like a complete mug. He's quite good at timing his heel moves in ways that make sense. But I don't think it was needed. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it was needed.
My other point with Kenny as well, he just felt really weak in this match because they're playing
Yeah.
up the diverticulitis stuff and then the Don Callis stuff on top of that. It's just too much. Like, either do diverticulitis and sell that or sell the Don Callis stuff. But I just feel like Okada always had the bigger advantage because Kenny never felt like, oh, he's the best bout machine. He's really like he has been for the past since he's come back. He's come back determined and like a fucking star. And for this match, for some reason, it was like we're going to max up the Viticulitis and then the Callis family. We're going to sell, sell, sell. And I love that for Kenny because Hurt Syndicate Jet Speed. We ain't selling for shit. But it made him just come across, in my opinion, like quite weak. And like I want to see him be full strength. I just fuck off with the Callis family and okay, David Callis, yes, sell it. But like I just want to see you like even if he was to lose, which he did, like I just want to see him be like his best self. I don't feel like I got that in this match.
Yeah, it felt like he didn't fully get into like fifth gear with,
Mm.
because although it was very close towards the end, and you felt like, okay, he's got a chance. If he pulls a quick one, he's got a chance. But then it was Okada just being that much quicker, and just throughout it always felt like Okada was just like a step above him in every sense. Because not only did he have the numbers advantage, but he wasn't injured. He wasn't crippled with this horrible surgery that is obviously bothering Kenny. And I think it makes sense to tell that story. But yeah, I did feel like quite a lot. I guess it just struggled. I think the match struggled in terms of pacing because that was a focus so much. And like psychologically, obviously in wrestling, you've always got to have a story, and that was the story that they went with. And I don't know. I didn't hate it, but I know where you're coming from. I think that Kenny's selling is great. Like his facial expressions were fantastic. But just I know what you mean. You want to see him
I want to see two of the best being the best
being the
versions of
best.
themselves and just go at it and have an amazing match. And yeah, the match wasn't bad. I'm not hating on the match, but it got bogged down
Yeah,
by all
you're
this
right.
shit. And yet, that's not fun for me. Like, who's gonna win? Or could it be Okada with all these advantages? Or Kenny Omega, the underdog? I want to see Kenny be his full self and Okada be his full self and Okada beat him. Like, just beat him
Yeah,
clean. Um,
yeah, 100%.
so yeah, but like you said, that they chose that story and that's what they did. So what can you do? But it was a decisive victory because it was the Rainmaker. I was in shock, honey. I was in shock. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think was it Kenny hit the knee, and then he got hit by a drop kick, and then it was he Okada went for the Rainmaker, but he got rolled up in the cradle, but then that was just a 2 count. And then suddenly Okada popped up, power slammed in, and then just caught him with the Rainmaker, and that was it. They
Yeah.
even said on commentary, "Oh, that was very sudden. That was a fast ending. Not that the match was short, but that it just didn't feel like, like you always feel like the match is breaking down at some point, but you didn't necessarily get that with this.
Yeah, it
And
didn't get to
also,
fifth gear, did it? Like normally it would be near fall, but we didn't get that. It
yeah,
felt very frantic, which okay, that's the story they wanted to tell. They wanted to tell, oh, Kenny could have won, but the ref didn't see it. Like that means shit to me. I don't care. I'm so bored of that. I know it's wrestling 101, but I don't care. It means nothing. The winner is who wins when the bell rings. Don't be coming whining next week going, oh, Don Callis did this. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You should have won. Okay,
you know they're
it's
gonna do that.
excuses.
They are
Excuses.
gonna
I
do
don't. I
that.
don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
And as well, right at the end, um, I think like Callis was on the apron, like ready to break it up if he needed to, but he didn't. But then it just shows like how close they were trying to play it off like it was, and it was just that much that Okada sort of just that bit faster than him. Um, it was very different to their past matches, and
Yeah.
do you ever think maybe it's because Omega just isn't capable of wrestling at his best at the moment? Like,
I don't know though, because like since he's come back, he's had some great series of yeah, I get that it's like protection, but I still think he can do more than that.
you
He
think?
can do more than that. Jesus Christ. That's offensive. He could. I don't care if he's going to lose. I don't care. Like, have him lose. But and it makes sense to have Okada win because you want to big up the Don Callis family. So, okay, fair dues. But don't insult me like that. Don't insult me with Rocky Romero in my beautiful, delicious Okada Omega meal, and then you just put Rocky Romero on it. Like it's like shitting on my food. Like what the hell do you think you're doing? It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's like the gravy on the ice cream thing all over again.
Yeah, and this match was not worthy of the triple main event. I'm sorry, like it just wasn't on paper, right? Yeah, Okada Omega, yeah, but the match, no, no, I'm pissed, and now I've thought about it and I've talked about it, and I'm not happy. I'm not a
Uh,
happy customer.
yeah, I mean, I watched it twice, like I said, because I thought, oh, I was tired. I maybe didn't, I need to just make sure I've fully digested it. And I came out of watching. I came out of watching the main event saying that's one of my matches of the year. Fucking loved it. I don't need to watch that again because I didn't really have time, but I know I loved it. Yeah, Mercedes versus Tony. I watched that the second time. I was like, yeah, that solidified that for me. That was also one of my matches of the year. Watching this again, I was like, um, I mean, I liked it. I did enjoy it both times, but I also didn't. I wasn't very thrilled, and I wasn't like, oh, this is an epic bout that has
But the
won
hype you
won my
had as
interest.
well, you literally said like, "Oh, this is like the three matches in your review." Like, "Oh, this is one of my most anticipated matches. This is up there with Hangman." Like, the
Yeah,
hype was real,
it was for everyone.
and it's just it's nothing on them. It's just the
Yeah, it's
story they chose to tell and the Callis family, and we had concerns about it, and the concerns are proven right.
damn right.
But just okay, cut your losses and just do not have Mr. Omega come out on Wednesday and be like, oh, the ref did this and the ref did that. Just have him move on, cut his ties, and go far away from Don Callis.
That's
I
not.
hate it. I hate Kenny and the Don Callis family. I hate it so much. It we've done it to death. Let it die. Have Okada be an absolute chad with the belt, you know, and Kenny Omega. I don't know. I don't know what you do with him, but just keep them apart.
Anything else.
In the seating plan, keep them apart. So this is the main event. I think in all of AEW history, this is probably the biggest main event ever main event. It really
Yeah, I
felt like to
agree.
me going into this, Cody against Roman the first time round,
Yeah.
where, and I was like, will it go the same direction of
Oh
like, oh,
God.
let's have Cody lose, and fix it next year. But yeah, this to me is just the biggest match feel. It's a year's worth of storytelling, and yeah, it was just crazy, crazy good. It was
Yeah.
everything that you thought it would be. It was a death match. I mean, it was literally a death match to the death.
I was so excited for this, obviously because of the story, and we all were just dying to know if Mox was going to be dethroned or not. I feel like that level of anticipation is rare to get, and I feel like everyone who's slagging off the Death Rider story can just suck my dick really because, well, it's had its problems, don't get me wrong, but I mean like the payoff was worth it, and this was it. This was the payoff. Also, I was just looking forward to it because I was looking forward to some violence. I wanted to see some blood because I feel like AW pay-per-views normally the big strength is it's so varied and there's something a bit different, something for everyone. So normally you'd have this type of death match like somewhere in the middle of the card to break it up.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was left waiting for this,
You were bloodthirsty.
I know, I feel like I don't know what I'm turning into. I felt like a bit of a psychopath. I was just like, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for the violence. Like, yeah, bloodthirsty. But I just feel like having something different, just a change in tone from your collar and elbow tie-ups, your high-flying tag team matches. Something completely different like this is so needed.
Well, I was pretty fatigued, as I say, during the Omega Okada match, but I was not fatigued during this. I was very stimulated. I was
Yeah,
wide
right.
awake, and I was locked the fuck in. Because,
Well, I
yeah,
think
that variation paired with, like, the story and the stakes, yeah.
yeah, I think it dragged you in from the beginning as well, because obviously we had the dramatic entrances.
And
Um,
the face music.
oh my
Oh,
God. And did you
oh,
notice as well the camera guy was looking at the heel tunnel and then he had to swerve
yeah.
because he came out of the babyface tunnel. Love that detail. And yeah, Claudio driving the truck. Oh my God, driving king. What a legend. The way he was
Thinking.
maneuvering that king that
That
that king maneuvering that truck through
just
that
broke in your
corridor.
brain. It was just
Uh,
so beautiful. Such a
I
beautiful
mean,
sight.
it gives me anxiety because you remember like Stone Cold Steve Austin at Mania this year, I think, and he crashed his fucking quad. It gives me anxiety now, like watching people drive vehicles in a wrestling event. But Claudio had that under control.
Did.
What a man.
He did. Yeah, it was real cool. The Death Riders coming up in the pickup truck, Mad Max style smoke coming out, and Hangman, the live performance, then coming out to the face music. It was already like the hype was so real. Um,
Yeah.
and
And then
also,
sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say like how this big match feel. How rare is it that you get a face where everyone unites behind and
Yeah,
everyone
right.
hates the heel? That is so rare.
That is so
So rare. Even
true.
Mercedes Tony, people were torn. People, a lot of people were chanting for Mercedes.
Yeah, they were. That
How
is
often do you
so
get this?
true.
Never.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I didn't even think of that, but that is incredibly true. Like nowadays in wrestling, there's always people on the side of the heels. Fans are smart, fans just pick their favourites. But this was like, now we've all been absolutely worked and we hate the heel and we just want to see him lose. That's like a great throwback to, I don't know, I sound like I'm a bit of a tool saying that, but like, like back in the 80s and stuff when it was really clear cut and people just simply wanted the face to win all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, was that what was your other point you were gonna make?
My other point was just that the match then immediately started and it wasted absolutely no time. They didn't tie up, they didn't grapple or anything. It was Mox got his fork out, Hangman got his fork out, and they're ready to eat some spaghetti together. And then Hangman was just sinking that fork into Moxley's skull like it was a
Oh, it was
watermelon.
horrific. There was no like cover, like it was all there in the open. You watched in real time him the blood just spurt out. It was
Yeah,
absolutely horrific. And yeah,
yeah,
no time to breathe, no nothing. And Mox the whole time in this match. I've never seen the man happier. Never seen the
so
man happier.
fucking
Like
true.
like
He's
like a
in his
pig in
element.
shit, like Mox in blood. This is his element. He
That is so
fucking loves
true.
it.
That is
He
so
absolutely
fucking
loves it.
true. Yeah. But it's like you just can't fake that, can you? I've seen someone say, "Oh, it's a paint pen. It's a paint pen when you do it and the red ink comes out when you press it." I'm like, don't be so fucking ridiculous. But I don't even
Mox would
understand.
never.
He would never.
No,
He's too proud for
he's
that.
begging. He's begging for it. He's like, stab me, please, instantly.
Please, Renee, please. Sorry, continue.
And then we had Mox putting the barbed wire over Hangman, which was equally
Yeah,
horrific, wrapping it around him. It was just,
I was
vulgar.
really worried for his
Um,
eyes. Like the commentary team was saying,
yeah.
"Close your mouth." I was thinking, "Close your eyes," because that actually does get you in the eyeball. That's gonna
Well, when
blind
he
you.
did the paradigm shift on the bed of nails, and there was nothing protecting his face, so yeah, like his eyes. If it landed there, but like if it landed a bit closer and he wasn't protecting his face, that had me a bit
No,
like, "Whoa."
it's all so sketchy. And then they went into the broken glass. It's like, to quote Jack Perry, that's real glass.
That
That's
was.
10 times worse than thumbtacks. I feel like thumbtacks has been done a lot in wrestling. That looks really painful, but I feel like glass is just a whole other level of.
I feel like it was sugar glass though.
You think, but the way, well, yeah, to be fair, yeah, it probably was, but it's still like sticking into the skin though.
It was that the visual where the camera, I loved it. And Hangman, he was bleeding. He just had his head bitten by Shafir, and he was holding onto the ropes. And then you have this great shot of Mox just crushing the beer bottles with his boot
Yeah,
before he proceeds
Yeah.
to drag Hangman through it. It was very gnarly stuff. Um, Hangman powerbomb onto the chairs on the edge, and
Oh
it
my
was the
God.
the vertical bit as well, and his spine just oh like cut him like a guillotine. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, like it's like the sharp edge of a chair. Like it was just so oh awful.
And then we had Yuta coming in. Hangman dispels of him with a
Yeah,
quick
he got
shot.
insta kill.
Dead eye through the table to Shafir, which yeah was just a crazy spot. Was not expecting that at all. I mean, 1 minute he's hesitating to do a buckshot, and then it's oh well, I've done it now. Might as well do a
I'm
dead
going to
eye
hell
through a table.
anyway.
Um, Claudio and Yuta were still at play though. Gabe Kidd, him and Ospreay got into it. The vertical suplex through the barbed wire tables, and Ospreay getting stretched out. Bless him, he did his best. Um, and then we had the first of the slow 10 count after the bulldog choke, and you're just thinking, please no, it got me. I was
Oh
like,
my
no,
God.
don't
Every
do this to
time
me.
I was literally on the edge of my seat every time. Like I was tired, but I was very, like you said, very, very stimulated, very, um, yeah, just on the edge of my seat the whole time. And I feel like this is a last man standing match essentially, isn't it? The count to 10. These matches, they're so difficult to do, right? Because who's hanging on for a 10 count? Who cares? Who gives a shit, right? But this was just a great example of that working really, really well. And the whole crowd was like invested for the whole 10 seconds, and the amount of times that Hangman, he was very good at making it convincing that he was getting up. He started moving around 8, and then by 9.5, he was just up to his feet. And I think he made that look really convincing.
Yeah. And I also think it just shows how protected the Bulldog choke has been because yeah,
Yeah.
while those finishes have been a bit fucky and a bit annoying, like it's kind of an anticlimactic ending, isn't it? It's not what you want to see in a main event, someone passing out, but because he's done that so many times, it was a long-term booking and it really paid off in this match because yeah, it made it very, very believable and high stakes. Whereas in a normal main event, if someone puts a choke on, it's you never think, oh, this is going to be the finish of the match because they wouldn't do that. But because they've done that for a whole year,
Yeah.
you're like, well, they might.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
then we had Yuta, he had the plastic bag, which obviously they'd used against Danielson a year prior. And then this bit was so random. It cut to like a video of Darby Allin cutting a very like his breath, his speech was so thin because the altitude. And of course, this man cuts a fucking promo on Mount Everest. Of
I
course he
mean, that
does.
is the most Darby Allin coded thing ever. Yeah, and you
And-
could get the frost on like his eyebrows and stuff because he was so cold, and he was like, "Ugh." But his
I wonder
commitment,
if he's with like a big group of people and he's like, sorry guys, just got to stop and cut this promo.
they're probably like, what the fuck?
Ridiculous. And then this is kind of like a bit of a diversion though, because he had like a beard, which Darby Allin never has a beard. And then this person comes out with a mask on. They've also got a beard. So you're like, is that Darby? And they take the mask off. And of course, it's Bryan Danielson, which was awesome. I'm so glad that he came into play, obviously, a year ago. Um, yeah, like with the way that he was taken out
He had
by Mox. So
sorry, he had the Blue Panther mask on as well. Um, Danielson, top Blue Panther fan, obviously. That's going to be the highlight of his career, no doubt.
not singing Genie in a Bottle. If you guys haven't seen
Oh,
that clip, you are severely missing out
seek it
because that
out
is a lot
immediately.
of dopamine. And then speaking of just ridiculousness, Darby Allin coming from the ceiling, SpongeBob style, on the
Yes,
harness.
that's all I
Just
could think of.
ridiculous. Just so laughable.
I don't know if you probably not looked because you've been trying to avoid spoilers, but some people who were in attendance said they could see Darby. So while like the whole Danielson thing was going on, he was just sort of hanging there, and some people had
That's
spotted
so
him, so they didn't
funny.
watch like the Danielson thing because they were too busy like looking up at Darby. Can you even imagine?
Of course, though, like Darby Allin, like why would he be normal?
Never normal. I knew
Never
he,
normal. No, no, not gonna run down through the crowd. No, I want to come in on a harness.
I love that because it's as if like because the video played and he was at the top of Everest. It's almost as if he's dropped from the top of Everest into this stadium.
It was so bloody daft, and I say that endearingly. And then we had absolute carnage on the outside. Eventually, the Death Riders were kind of drawn away with the second buckshot, and then we had, in my opinion, the worst spot of the night. One of the worst things I've ever seen. It made me gasp. The dead eye through the table, and Mox and the way his head landed. It was awful. I'm sorry, that was absolutely awful. I hated it.
I know. I mean, I agree, but I also loved it at the same time.
Yeah, it was just awful looking. Really fucking cool, but just ugh. Then we had Shafir, she drags Mox up, and then we had the books
Oh my
behind, which again
God.
was another moment of like, oh for fuck's sake. They
Because
do the super kick.
sorry, yeah, it's just because that dead eye through the table, I was convinced that was it because it felt like we've gone through the motions of people interfering.
Yeah,
Okay,
who
this is
else could
it.
possibly? We've got rid of everyone, and then
Yeah, because Marina had been put through that table, so I didn't think she was going to come back up. So it really led you to believe that this was the finish, and then she appeared, and I just had this dread through my heart. I was like, no, what do you mean? No, 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 no. So she
just as
lifted
someone
it.
had predicted in the comments as well, like, oh, I think the books are going to come in and help him to win. I was like, no, no.
Yeah, because we've been here before, haven't we, with the books? And at this point, I mean, I was as close to the TV as I could get, and I was like, please, God, no. Like this was the low point for me where I was like, this is it. It's so over.
But then we had the EVP trigger onto the bed of nails, the curb stomp, the
Oh my
paradigm
God.
shift, and then another agonizingly slow 10 count. Yeah.
It was I was like, that's it. I was like, okay, the dream's over, guys. Just I was just getting ready like to go to bed in a bad mood. It gave me flashbacks to when the many WrestleManias in a row where I was so passionate and I'd stay up and watch it till 5 a.m. and Roman Reigns would win again. This was giving me flashbacks to that.
Yeah, and this match was sorry, I sorry it took me so long to get this out, but this match was just a series of we are so back, it's over.
Yeah,
We are so back,
literally.
it's over. Um,
Yeah.
and then we had when he got back to his feet, Mox like his uh, temper, temper is. See, I'm feeling very sympathetic towards Excalibur right now because yeah, my brain is kind of going too much. But Mox he asks for the case, so Marina Shafir she goes over, and the way this was shot was incredible because she goes to walk and then all of a sudden her arm is just caught and she's in a handcuff and you're like, what the fuck? Because
You
you,
didn't
you
see
didn't see it
any
at
of it.
all.
Yeah, I didn't suspect anything fucky was going on here. I was just like, oh, she's just going over to to get the briefcase, whatever. You really didn't expect this.
And then Prince Nana was there and he chained her and he then started emoting, which was hilarious.
King.
And cut to Swerve, he's on the ramp and he's got Hangman's chain and he's walking towards Hangman, kind of like the executioner. And
That's when I started crying.
even though like Nana's just gotten rid of Shafiq, he still didn't really know what decision Swerve was going to make, but then he chucked the chain into the ring, which Hanger used, and he lynches Mox the first time, but he quickly escapes and then he does the buckshot onto the nails. He lynches him again, and I thought, how fucking poetic that this match is ending with Mox being choked out when that's what he did to Brian Danielson. It just
Like,
felt like really full circle.
and also like that's how Hangman became the Hangman when he did join the Bullet Club from hanging someone. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. It was just so poetic. And I loved it as well that it seemed I wasn't sure like if it went wrong the first time he tried to do it. But then he did the bookshot and then he did it again and Moxley's selling on that was so good. It was like panic setting in, that realization
Yeah.
of I've got no one left.
It
And
was a death.
yeah, like he's seeing the
It
Grim
felt
Reaper.
real.
He's seeing the
Yeah.
light at the end of the
He's
tunnel and
seen the Sims Grim Reaper. It was there.
yeah, and he's like, okay, this is it. It's over. He's scrambling. He's trying to escape. He can't do anything. You see the panic in his eyes. Um, and the fact that it was a tap out and not like a count and like a knockout. I feel like that was even
Yeah, it's
more
like he actually
emphatic.
had to admit defeat,
Yeah.
just as he'd done to Danielson and all of his opponents, showing no mercy. And now here he was with Hangman being shown no mercy. And then you cut to the shot of Swerve and he's just smirking, like, well done, kid. And that was so, so, so emotional. And then Hangman's crying and he gets the briefcase and it looks like he can't open it and it looks like he's like crying because he's frustrated. But then he kind of like fainted us out because then he did have it open and he pulled it out and it was just every bit of emotional as what we thought it would be. And it was just, oh, I was crying. It was beautiful. It was amazing.
I can't
Could not
remember.
ask for more.
Yeah, I know, me neither. I can't remember the last time that like watching wrestling on TV has made me feel that way. I will add the caveat of on TV because there's been moments with like some of the little like indie shows that I've done where there's been a lot of build up and a lot of payoff and it's been really big and that's felt more personal. So that like I feel like that in-person wrestling is always more emotional anyway, but watching it on TV I feel like it can be difficult to reach that level of emotion and it really does take a really special story with a huge payoff and this for me it was just perfect for me. As soon as Swerve turned up I was in tears because I was like I know this is ending and I'm so happy and just so many emotions and what a
It was
beautiful moment
perfect.
and just
All the
having
run-ins, everything was just. I wouldn't change a thing in the main event, and it's very rare that I would say that I would not
I love
change a thing.
that yeah because and clearly they took risks as well like there's some of the extreme spots that they did has the chance of not playing out the way they envisioned or like do you know what I mean like not looking visually what they were planning but it all worked really well it all looked really violent it was so thrilling throughout and then the run-ins didn't feel overbooked which is quite easy for things like this to feel like okay you've tried a bit too hard there but I didn't get that impression from this it all just felt like it made sense it was like I guess it was sort of predictable, but not in a bad way. Like I did think, yeah, I think I thought that Swerve was going to interfere, and I did think that Darby was going to. But to be fair, I didn't really expect Danielson. Um,
But they also made it unpredictable though, because like
yeah, in the
they
way it played
definitely
out,
placed reasonable doubt in your mind. Um,
I just can't
yeah.
remember the last time I was worked so hard. Like as when the books were involved, I was like, it's over. It's actually over. Like, oh my God. Um, and just that the emotional journey it took you on as a fan is just it makes the whole thing it makes it worth it and it's just like you see the vision now and the visual of taking that belt out of the briefcase and it's still got Danielson's plates on it. I just
Yeah.
love that. What an amazing way to end it with that the symbolism of the belt finally being free.
Yeah, it was just amazing. Like I say, you wouldn't change a thing, and it was so emotional, so empathetic. And this past year has been a grind, and yeah, the Death Race on it hasn't been perfect, but when you think where we started to where we are now, all the work that's gone into it, I think, yeah, it's just been an incredible journey. And seeing Hangman be so emotional, seeing the crowd reaction was amazing. It just, oh. It was just amazing. And it's just like, I can't believe that, like, we're not going to live with the Death Riders EVP thing anymore. Like,
Yeah.
we're actually
Me neither,
free. Like, we're
man.
freed, guys. Like, we are free from the briefcase. Like, that's just so crazy to me. And wow, what a build up they've done that an outcome of a match decides the future of the company. Like, that's how high they've built
Mm,
the stakes.
yeah.
And it actually feels like a new era. It actually means something. And
Yeah.
I can't, it's so good. And I'm so happy for Hangman because, like, his first run, he kind of got the belt and there was nothing for him to do. And now it's like there's too much for him to do. There's too many side quests for him to do.
Mhm.
And I'm just feeling so positive about the whole thing. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I mean, All Out's going to happen. I mean, what's going to happen there? And I'm so, so excited. selfishly for Forbidden Door and to see what we're gonna get there.
My
I'm
God,
so happy that we're gonna be watching that pay-per-view live with Hangman as the champion. Like that is just
oh
so
my
exciting.
God, I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah. I just the tiniest little things to note as well. Yuta was
Hmm.
handed that plastic bag to choke out Hangman, and he sort of hesitated with that a little bit, just a little bit.
Did
I'm
he?
clutching at straws because that's what Death Ride. That's what I do as a Wheeler Yuta and Claudio fan. I clutch at straws, and also, yeah, Claudio's broken two necks tonight. He did the same thing to Ospreay that he did to Samoa Joe, so it's just like, hmm. Okay, so do you think that's writing out Osprey and Joe for at least a couple of weeks?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, I don't know. This is so random to talk about now, but commentary, they randomly brought up Hook. So
Oh my
clearly they
God.
still want to play into the Hook and Joe stuff and
Yeah,
Hook
damn.
leaving the ops. But yeah, I mean, it's like we said earlier, it seems like they are going to do some stuff with the remnants of the Death Riders. But yeah, I mean, if they want to go on vacation, go on vacation.
Oh yeah, they'll deserve a vacation after this. They deserve a rest. Um, but yeah, I was just so, and I love how on the reaction on social media and stuff is obviously very overwhelmingly positive, and I don't know if you know this, but WWE sort of tried to counter All In by putting on a lot of shows this week. They basically had a show on every day.
It's Evolution tonight, isn't it?
That's right,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah.
And they also had, I think they do Saturday night main event, and that was last night. And a lot of people have been saying like, so All In ended just as that was sort of beginning, or it had already started, and some people flipped the channel over and they were like, that was jarring. Going from Hangman
Yeah.
winning to fucking Jelly Roll fighting Logan Paul was incredibly jarring. And I just think that, well, personally, obviously I'm in a different sphere of the internet. The algorithm works so that I see a lot of AEW stuff because obviously it knows that I like it. But having said that, I do follow like a variety of people who are WWE fans, but I've not barely seen anything about what WWE have done. But there's been so much hype around Hangman and All In, so I feel like Triple H has kind of been ratioed this week, basically.
Yeah, it's been a great week to be an AEW fan. The positivity continues, and I still feel like the pay-per-view deserves 10 out of 10. I know we nitpicked a little bit, but that's who we are. That's what we're here for. Because imagine if you turned the podcast on, it's like it was good. Goodbye.
It was good. I
But yeah,
really
10 out of
liked
10.
it. Yeah, yeah. I can't I can't
I
disagree.
can't see. It's like you said, when's the last time that you watched something remotely and it made you feel as much as tonight made you feel?
I just felt like a kid again, and I
It's
just
phenomenal.
so grateful for that. Because with wrestling these days, it just sometimes it feels a bit like I don't know. I just feel like it's rare to get that, and especially because watching it with no spoilers whatsoever, and just purely living in the moment of okay, what as it was close enough to live for me anyway, and just yeah, it made me feel like a little kid. Um,
Yeah.
or like I was there in the arena, and I really wasn't. I was sat in my living room on my own. Actually, I was on my own. My dog was next to me. But it's just like just being sucked in like that. It's incredible. Um, and I feel like that ability to build that story that's rewarded, like like the little attention to detail and paying attention to the story and the different ways that's played out. It's really rewarding as a fan, and it feels like Tony Khan wants to make the fans happy. He's not. He does book things that because he wants to, but it's also, you know, it's making everyone happy. It's what everyone wants.
Yeah, because it could have been very different,
Yeah,
but it wasn't. So, yeah, that was
a
all in
solid 10 out of
2025,
10.
baby.
10 out of 10. Now that is
10 out of 10.
that's going to look beautiful on our spreadsheet, and that's going to bring up the average for sure. But yeah, that's what we thought. So do let us know in the comment section like what you thought? Do you agree with our rating of a 10? Were you there or did you watch it live? Like, what did you think? What were your reactions to everything? Yeah, just let's ride this high for as long as possible and hope that Dynamite this week is going to be just as good. It's difficult to follow up. Like, you want to continue the momentum, so I'm really interested to see, because there's so many possible ways that all these stories could go, and that's a brilliant place to be in. So how very exciting. So we'll see you for our Dynamite review. I guess we're wrapping up. We don't have anything to add. We've covered it all.
No, that's it.
So yeah, do leave a like or a rating. 5-star rating is so helpful, and subscribe or follow if you haven't already. Usually when we do a pay-per-view, we tend to see a lot of new people. So if you are new, please do not forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss it. Our next review and any other stuff that we get up to. So yeah, again, thank you so much for listening.
I must bid you adieu, goodbye.